Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for Starfleet Academy, Episode 4.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
So, I've got to be honest with you, I didn't expect the reaction that we got with Episode 3 review and the ultimatum I gave at the end. Obviously, that review didn't get 100 likes, it didn't bring me up to 1,000 subscribers, but enough of you got involved and liked the video and subscribed to the channel, that I have to say thank you. I think it's important, really, for posterity, that we carry on with reviewing this series, for good or for ill.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
And with this episode 4, we are treated to a bit of a scaled back episode. I've got to be honest with you. It's not quite as in your face as the last episode. I really did not like the last episode whatsoever. And there are moments in this episode which I really do not like either. I think are really poorly done. But then there are some smaller moments where you have to think, okay, there might be something here, but I'm not sure they have the actual courage to carry on with that. I think they will fall back into the traps, and we'll go through that in just a second. This episode is it's an episode focusing entirely on Jadon, the Klingon, and aside from his horribly voice modulation, I don't know why they've done that with his voice. It's so distracting. We've had it in the past with actors portraying Klingons. They don't have to have a deep, gruff voice all the fucking time. Remember Christopher Plummer in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country? He just played himself as this refined English-speaking, Shakespearean delivering, accented man.
Tickle us, do we not laugh? Prick us, do we not bleed? Wrong us, shall we not revenge?
Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
You have not experienced Shakespeare until you have read him in the original Klingon.
Have we not heard the chimes at midnight?
Cry havoc! And let's slip the dogs of war.
And it worked because it fit the character. It fit the process of that character. He was refined. He was learned. He knew everything about, the Federation and their flaws and weaknesses. He'd studied. He was intellectual and it worked. You fell into it. You understood and you believed it. There was an air of believability about this just refined English gentleman who's a Klingon general who just wants to destroy everything. And there's a lot of parallels between the Undiscovered Country and this episode.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
The Klingon Empire's falling. Kronos has been destroyed. All the dilithium mines on that planet obviously blew up during the burn. There's a lot of exposition in this episode as well, which you have to bear through. But we're told that Kronos has been destroyed, and it very much reminds you of Praxis when that moon explodes because of the over dilithium mining and the over zealousness of that mining. Again, very much a Tolkien thing with the dwarves delving too deeply into the mines. And ultimately, that is still the Klingons' folly many years after, which, again, I find it hard to believe. And we don't get any semblance in this episode that the Klingons ever joined the Federation, which, again, I find very hard to believe. But this is the stall they've set out. The Klingons basically didn't learn from any of their mistakes, and ultimately the burns cost them everything. They're basically a dying species. There's nothing left of them. Similar to the Vulcans in the Kelvin timeline, again, which I fucking hated. How dare you do that to the Vulcans?
Don't insult my intelligence.
And similarly here, how dare you literally put the Klingons as a dying species that have got there's barely any of them left. It's finding something to change for the sake of changing it, I think.
Bullshit!
But nevertheless, this episode follows along with it this whole discovery of a planet that basically is the new Kronos in a way. So they're trying to convince the Klingon Empire to settle on this planet. All the while, there's a high school debate team debating what the Klingons should do, whether the Federation should force them or let them go about their ways.
Okay.
And of course, Jaden falls into this, and he develops an argument against the Klingons being forced onto this planet. And like I said, there's a bit of scaling back here. We don't get so much this intrusive, nonsensical dialogue from these kids. It's actually a lot better in that. But the writing's no better. It still rushes through all of these major events. I mean, how is it that we have Starfleet Academy graduates dictating and deciding and ultimately being part of the fundamental shifts in the galaxy? Where is the rest of the Federation Council for all this?
I don't know.
The Federation Council's listening to Academy students? Really? It's like students at the University of Central Lancashire dictating to fucking number 10 Downing Street and saying, this is a good idea. And then the fucking Prime Minister going, oh yeah, that's a great idea, I'll do that.
That is one big pile of shit.
Give me a break. There's no way these kids should have any influence on the wider workings of the galaxy after a cataclysmic event which killed trillions of people. It's so far-fetched. It's despite some good moments, some good small moments of character work in this episode, it's so far-fetched, the wider scope of this show, that you can't help but go, nah, I don't believe it. And there's nothing greater than the end of this episode where Jaden, God bless him, he actually comes up with a solid argument of let the Klingons be the Klingons to find their own way. But then, for some reason, despite the Federation offering the Klingons this planet multiple times, they come up with this scheme to allow a fake battle to happen so that the Klingons can win it without any casualties on either side so that they can conquer that world.
That's right.
Hot damn. You're heroic.
What the hell is that? It's so false and paper thin. My word, I get it. I get what they're trying to do, but it completely rings hollow. It absolutely rings hollow. There must have been some other way to do it. Like I said, remember, the whole thing with the undiscovered country was both sides seeing that there was something better that they could work towards and attain. It seems like we've gone, well, we're going to ignore all that. We're going to ignore the fact that people can think and look at things pragmatically. Look at the way that, we can develop despite our differences. I don't know. It's a shame because, like I said, I do think that there were some possible interesting things at work here. And yeah, it's undermined every turn by just weird decision making, weird writing decisions and choices. My word. And a lot of the characters in this episode take a backseat to Jaden, and I did appreciate, I think, some of the flashbacks we get kind of reminded me a bit of some moments in Battlestar Galactica when we get flashbacks of those characters. There are some moments like that. and it does work to the benefit of Jaden's character. But again, like I said, there's things that just pulled you out at every turn. His voice modulation, no, there must have been something better they could do with that. What was the inherent issue with using the actor's normal voice? I don't know what he sounds like. If any of you do, let me know in the comments section. But honestly, I don't know why they've done that. It's like it's almost like the initial voice sounding of Tom Hardy's Bane in The Dark Knight Rises that nobody understood in the press screening, so they had to fucking redo it all. It's exactly like that. It's off-putting and it feels fake. It doesn't feel genuine. And when you're trying to give us a genuine episode about a Klingon coming to terms with who he is, and to be fair, his story of getting to who he is isn't all that bad, you know, because we've had similar things with Worf, but his development was over the course of many seasons, not just in Next Generation, the movies, and then Deep Space Nine. You know, he had many different arcs throughout that showed us how different he was as a Klingon. And then this episode, we're supposed to accept all of this within one episode. Again, that rings false. It all feels very rushed, very ill thought out, especially when there's some good things going for it. Good God. It's difficult. I don't think this show is any good whatsoever. I really don't. And then when the opportunity is there for something better to be, you know, offered, it fumbles it. It really does fumble it. And that ending is trite. It's absolutely trite. It rings hollow. It rings false. And I don't know what the end game is meant to be with that. You know, what the end game is meant to be with the Klingons. Are they just going to fade away into obscurity now? Is it a way of them going, well, we've done the Klingons too much in the past, in other Star Trek shows, and yeah, that may be right, but you don't solve that problem by eradicating the species and leaving them on one singular planet, which is what I feel like they did with the Vulcans in the Kelvin timeline. They eradicated the species so they didn't have to do anything centered around them as much anymore, which I think is dreadful. And to be fair, I think they did that with the Borg as well in Picard Season 2.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
They thought, well, we don't want to do with the Borg anymore because we're fed up of them, because everyone likes them, so we're just going to eradicate them and make them weak and pathetic. No. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But there you go. I was able to much more focus on this episode, I think, because, like I said, it held itself back a little bit more to focus on some actual character work and story, but then it undermines itself. But there you go, that's my review for Star Trek Starfleet Academy Episode 4. I guess I'm in this for the long haul, boys and girls.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
I do, again, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I'm not sure how this review will go down. But if you're there, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, what do you think about this Undiscovered Country Lite episode of Starfleet Academy? Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as Undiscovered Country at all in terms of what that does for the political shifting and any of that, and what it means for the wider scope of the galaxy. It's nowhere near anywhere as good as that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews like this. I wonder what episode 5 is. Oh well, I'll see you then, I guess. Bye-bye.